Welcome to World Showtime. 1995 saw some of the best shows for model aircraft, and this video has reports from many of them, including the Eurojet Circus, the first Jet World Masters, and La Ferté-Alais. Also a report from South Africa and the Vulindela project. But that's later in the program. First, let's travel to the flight test center of Bretigny, 30 miles south of Paris. On arriving at the airfield, pilots were confronted by a jet modeler's dream. Endless runway, miles and miles of it, and 150 yards wide.
For the pilot, you are welcome for the second jet circus, Eurojet Circus.
The weather was looking good, and before long, the first aircraft was taxiing out for takeoff. This is the Starwing MC from father and son Harald and Harald Pigisch. Here is Harald Pigisch Jr. to explain about it.
This is the Starwing MC, which is our latest design of a flying wing, especially designed for jet propulsion with a JPX jet engine. The basic advantage of flying wing designs, especially for jet engines, is that you have no problems with the layout, especially the tailpipe design of the mold. You can put the jet engine directly in the back, which avoids any problems for the very beginning when you are gaining experience with it. What we have done is to develop a special inlet ducting as one of the first models. Usually it was used so that the people just put the jet engine into the airframe and operated it without any proper ducting.
My name is Ian Richardson, and I'm going to explain to you a little about this model aircraft here, which is made from the Bob Violet models T-33 Shooting Star. Bob Violet models are based in Florida in America and produce some of the finest model ducted fan kits in the world. The model itself is powered by the Bob Violet models ducted fan. It has a BVM 91 engine with in-flight mixture control. The wheels and the brakes are standard BVM material. Access to the radio is quite easily through this hatch. You have two carbon fibre catches, and this is removed to reveal the engine unit. And you can see here the small hopper tank, which is very useful for doing aerobatic manoeuvres. With this hopper tank you get no hiccups at all with the engine. You can also see here the in-flight mixture control, which is fairly standard on nearly all ducted fan models nowadays. There are also two servos at the back here, which you can see. These operate the tail surfaces.
Flying Ian's model is Steve Elias. He is one of the best pilots in the world today. He has also done some film work. In the latest James Bond film, The Golden Eye, Steve flew one of the Russian MiGs. See Steve later in the program when he competes in the first World Jet Masters in Germany. This was another aircraft to keep an eye on. Here is the pilot to tell us about it.
Well, it's Philip Avond's F-15. It's powered by the standard configuration of this moment. It's about 7 kilos. It flies on a Ramtech BVM silencer and OS engine. Its radio is a Futaba radio, and it uses 6 servos instead of 5 because it's got sequencing gear doors, so I need an extra servo for the gear doors. The finishing is done with Aura cover chrome. Most of the clear panels are just cut and put on, and some of the gold colored and the green colored panels are, have a little spray of mist. The whole plane weighs about 7 kilos, so it's also suitable to fly for the F4C skill competition.
Hans has built into his aircraft a very effective hush kit. As you can hear, it really makes a difference. He has entered his model in many competitions, and he always does very well, especially in the F4C scale competitions.
My name's Terry Ito. I'm the manufacturer of the GT Models Hawker Hunter kit. This is one of the first prototypes. It features a completely epoxy fuselage, foam wings covered in balsa with epoxy. It has 9 servos in the aircraft, 1 each for the ailerons, 1 each for the flaps, mixture control, throttle, steerable nose leg, and obviously elevator. The complete nose assembly comes off from here and allows you to get at the radio gear. Added to that, we have a very, very large hatch on the bottom here, which if I take it off, shows you the engine bay. Model is powered by a Ramtech OS91 Tom Cook pipe and spring air retracts. Starting can either be through the nose leg door hole, or rather better than that, we take off a Sabrina and we put the probe into this area, and in there is also the charging socket for the radio gear and the switch, so it makes things really accessible. One of the things that we really believe in is, if you really want to fly a model regularly and have a lot of flights at meetings, is accessibility, and that's why we have such a big hatch. That's why with the nose removes to get at the radio gear and all the other bits and pieces. This one is actually fitted with flaps, and they are very, very effective. They're quite big, and they give the model a little bit of pitch down, but once that's trimmed out with a mixer, they're very, very effective and very useful for slowing the model down.
That is where we have to leave the Eurojet Circus. But before we go, here's a short look at what else appeared at the show. Philip Avons with his JPX-powered starfighter. Graham Pipe's F-111A stealth bomber. The Ghost Squadron. Malcolm Kay's T-33. René Lempereur's Citation. John Franklin and John Palmer with the Starjet. And another aircraft from Harald and Harald Piggish. So that's it. All the models are packed away and the Eurojet Circus comes to a close. The next weekend, we travelled to Somerset to report on Top Gun UK 1995. Defending his 1994 Top Gun title was John Sowersby, flying his Viggen. There were over 90 pilots who entered this year, and here are some of them. Newcomer Mark Leavesley with his Spectre. Former Top Gun UK champion Jim Fox, also with a Spectre. Bob Ryan with another Spectre. Another newcomer, Tim Jenkinson. A local lad, Jason Ireland. Philip Knoll with his Mirage 2000C. Carl Jackson and another Spectre. Peter Francis with his Rafale. Former RCJI editor Mike Cherry with his superb F-15C Eagle. Toppgun UK was again hosted by the Sedgemoor Flying Club, who did a great job as usual this year, taking over the disused runway at Western Zoyland. Okay, let's get on with the competition. First away is Mark Leavesley from Mike's Models, Birmingham. Mark is probably best known for his helicopter flying rather than jets, but over the last year, he's really made his mark on the jet scene. A good luck tap on the model, and away it goes. Straight into his high-speed pass, reaching 176.5 miles per hour. Now into the vertical rolls. Seven rolls that time for Mark, and now the slow-speed pass. This is done into the wind, and just look at how he keeps the model just airborne. A very good score here, just 18.39 mph, the second slowest of the competition. Mark receives his trophy, coming third overall. Here is a list of his results. High speed, 176.5 mph. Vertical rolls, 7. Slow speed, 18.39 mph. Next away is Bob Ryan. Bob is another pilot who has favoured a Spectre for this year's competition. Straight into his high-speed pass, 183.5 mph. Just look at the concentration on his face. Slow speed now. You can hear the wind blowing as Bob flies into it. 20.83 mph. Not as slow as Mark Leavesley, but Bob's high-speed pass was faster, and overall, he came second place.
On the caravan at this end of the flight line where we're selling the t-shirts and sweatshirts for cash. Well done, Bob. See you in a minute.
This model Spectre belongs to Tim Jenkinson, who is competing in his first ever ducted fan competition.
I think he's got an RS91 in this, Ramtech fan, JMP Series 2.
And into vertical rolls. Climbing higher and higher. 7 vertical rolls for Tim. Now the slow speed pass. The wind's really helping to slow the model down. 18.56 mph, another superb score.
Approaching the first gate. He's into the course now. This is extremely slow. About halfway through, approaching the second gate. 39, and Tim Jenkinson 18.56 miles an hour. So this is the sort of speed we're having.
So, in his first ever competition, Tim Jenkinson was awarded with the Toppgun UK 1995 title. Here are his winning results. High speed, 203.3 mph. Slow speed, 18.56 mph. OS 91 engine, Ramtech fan. A quick call to his wife to let her know the good news.
That's a wonder.
So here are the top 3 pilots at Top Gun UK 1995. And just a short look at what else flew over the weekend. Next we travel deep into France to visit one of Europe's most impressive model aircraft shows. After a long hot journey across France, we finally reach our destination, La Ferté-Alais. We climb into the surrounding hills to reach the airfield. As every year, many hundreds of spectators visit the show to admire the models and to enjoy the flying. On a good clear day, Paris can be seen in the distance. Above us we have the flight path into Charles de Gaulle Airport, but hopefully the models won't be flying that high. This is one of the aircraft many have come to see. The giant Hercules, flown by Michael Schepens. Powered by 4 38cc Titan engines turning 20x8 propellers. Michael flew the model in a very scale-like manner, which impressed all who watched.
Mettre légèrement sur le côté. Ouais, je me mets là.
Cette machine est utilisée aussi bien par les
Richard Rawle from Practical Models flew his PBY Catalina. Powered by two 22cc Zenoa engines, it lifts off the ground with ease. Simon Rodway, editor of Radio Control Model World, talks to Richard about his model.
The whole model is balsa, ply.
Have you got any foam in it?
There's some foam wing ribs, foam card wing ribs we used. I remembered when I was repairing it. Out, it's sort of up to the engine nacelles. I've used foam card.
You've got bomb drop on this as well?
Yes.
How do you drop those? Do you drop them in pairs?
Yep. What we've got is a separate transmitter. I fly the aeroplane, and then we have a secondary pilot for bombs, landing lights, navigation lights. Bombs are run so that we've got it on the normal elevator and aileron stick. When you push the stick in the down position, you drop one set, left and right, and then if you push the stick to the left, you lose another pair, push it to the right, and you lose another pair. So we've got good control over where we want to drop them.
A wheel collapsed on landing, but nothing was damaged. Andreas Luthi flew his Booker Jungmeister, which is powered by a King 140cc engine. This model was built 12 years ago and weighs in at 35 kilograms with a wingspan of 3 meters. After 12 years of flying, the Jungmeister is still going strong and is fully aerobatic, as befits a model of the plane that trained German pilots for the Battle of Britain. Turney White flew his Sopwith Tabloid. Powered by a 200cc King engine, it's flown in a very realistic manner. Richard Crabb from England has brought along his Black Widow P61. Powered by two 38cc Zenoa engines, it flies with ease. Here is Richard to explain more.
This features an unusual control system, no ailerons. These are little more than trim tabs. Spoilerons is the main control surface. They come out like that, the other one stays in. This plane was a night fighter, could outmaneuver any Allied fighter, or indeed Japanese fighter at the time. It was a huge plane, 66 foot, weighed 32,000 pounds, I think.
This is a super constellation. It's powered by 4 Super Tiger 3000 engines. After a weekend of superb models, brilliant flying, and for one of our video crew, a little too much fine French wine, we have to leave this wonderful place. But we couldn't go without just a short look at some of the many aircraft that appeared. Okay, that's it. Off to the next destination. In the August of 1995, the first Jet World Masters was held. Over 70 pilots from 20 countries entered to become the first Jet World Champion. The event was held at the Schweighofen airfield just outside Neu-Ulm in Bavaria, Germany. Pilots entered included Jerry Cordell, Marcus Omer, Martin Lefebvre, Garland Hamilton, Roger Shipley, Peter Kimmerl, Eric Raute, Hans van Dongen, Steve Elias, Wolfgang Klur. The site in which the event took place overlooks Ulm Cathedral, which has the tallest tower in the world. The organizers, the Deutsche Modellfliegerverband, have created a purpose-built runway just for this event. Some said it was too short and too narrow, but this was the World Championships, and these are the top pilots in the world, so they should manage. In the air is the Rafale of Eric Raute from France. He's fitted 2 JPX T250 gas turbine engines in it, and it really sounds like the real thing. Unfortunately for Eric, he had a problem with his undercarriage on his approach to land. The wheels twist up into the wings on takeoff, but when he came to lower them down again, they didn't twist into the forward position, making the landing a rather fraught affair. Down safely and not too much damage. Peter Kimmerl from Austria has been conducting a love affair with the RFB fan trainer for many years and has built and flown a number of them before producing this 600 version for the competition. Powered by an OS 108 engine and a homemade fan unit, the model performed faultlessly before the judges, executing some maneuvers which would not have been in keeping with most of the other models present. Stall turns are not the done thing with a Rafale or a Viggen. The slow-speed handling of the fan trainer was impeccable, as you can see from the landing approach that Peter makes. A good flight, returning a good score. Garland Hamilton from the United States was one of the men to watch throughout this competition. Garland is a US Marine and has been modeling for over 15 years, and he brought all of that massive experience to bear during his flights. The model he was flying was a Bob Violet Model F-80C Shooting Star, powered by a full house of BVM engine, pipe and fan units, along with retractable undercarriage and brakes. This model looked and flew superbly, with Garland showing off the added extras such as speed brakes, landing lights and scale retracting gear doors. Garland won the overall title and became the first ever Jet World Champion. Hans van Dongen from Holland came in second place, with Steve Elias of Great Britain coming third. Here is a full list of the top 10 pilots at the first Jet World Masters. One of the high adrenaline spots of the event, Hiroyuki Oki from Japan flew his mammoth 3-meter span Boeing 747 for the very first time. Having spent 60 years modeling, Mr. Oki has found that the best way to relax whilst flying is to play classical music from a miniature cassette player, which he keeps in his pocket. The thrust given by the two J450 gas turbines fitted to this model was awesome. And even though the crosswind proved somewhat tricky on the large fin area of the model, it has an incredibly wide speed range, and the crowds were ecstatic when the model performed an entirely unscale-like zoom climb from a low pass. A little fast on landing, but the 747 is down safely. Mr. Oki is congratulated by Winfried Olgaard and fails to notice that his aircraft is going for a stroll all on its own. It could have been part of the show. Andreas Gietz's new Sabre made its debut during the demonstration flights at the World Masters. Powered by the new Pegasus Mark III gas turbine, the model proved to be very agile and competent in the air and impressed everyone who saw it. So that's it. The first Jet World Masters is now over. Garland Hamilton flies back to the United States a world champion, and the city of Neu-Ulm, after a week of competition, gets back to normal life. The next World Masters will be held in 1997, but as of yet, a country and venue have not been confirmed. The next visit in our world showtime is the beautiful country of South Africa. Set in the ostrich breeding area, the town of Oudtshoorn has been famous for many years for its tremendous model flying activity. The Oudtshoorn Scale event first started over 22 years ago by Chris Sweetman and Keith Bolts, and over the years has grown and grown into the show we see today. It would be hard to find a more beautiful setting. This plateau, surrounded by mountains, for many years has been famous for its ostrich breeding. And everywhere you go, ostriches can be seen from the very small chicks to the mature and fully grown birds. The event is held on the full-size airfield SM Grief, which handles small civilian flights and also the military. All but a very few of these flights were suspended for the weekend's modelling.
Cape Town with the BAE Hawk. Now the Hawk you would know.
These two beautiful tiger moths are two examples of the excellent model building to be seen. One of the most beautiful models to be seen for a long time is this albatross. Built from the Proctor kit, powered by an Enya 240V twin four-stroke, this model has been built by Hermann Grobler. As can be seen, this model flies in a most realistic fashion and was one of the nicest scale aircraft seen anywhere in the world. Hermann's standard of building is really superb. Unfortunately, this aircraft was severely damaged by a crash later on in the airshow. This 88-inch wingspan Harvard was built also by Hermann Grobler, but is now owned and flown by Rodney Donaldson. It features robot retracts, is powered by a Sato 120 4-stroke and controlled by multiplex radio. This superb model is covered in lithoplate, giving it a very realistic finish. The Harvard was the official South African Air Force trainer for 55 years, only being retired in November 1995. This P-51 Mustang, being flown with lively enthusiasm, is a scratch-built model and is built and flown by Chris Freeman. It's powered by a Super Tiger 3000. The radio Chris is using is a Futaba Field 47. He really did put on a show-stopping display, which was enjoyed by all the crowd. This superb Booker Jungmeister, built from the pilot kit and powered by an OS-160 twin, is owned and flown here by Tony Hindry. A dead-stick landing is a piece of cake with an aircraft like this. This Heinkel Cadet, which we saw earlier, is also owned and flown by Tony Hindry. It was built by the late Colin Jones, and it gave a beautiful performance. This really is an extremely quiet model with its 7-cylinder Seidel engine. This large P-51 Byron Mustang again belongs to Rodney Donaldson. Due to problems with the powertrain, Rodney decided not to fly it at Oudtshoorn this year. This 90-inch Spitfire is from the old PowerMax kit. As you can see, it makes up beautifully and gives a very realistic flying performance. Powered by a solo 50cc engine and homemade retracts, it was built and is now flown by Terry Hamilton. This Midwest AT-6 Harvard aircraft is powered by a Super Tiger 2500 with robot retracts and a Futaba radio. Built here and flown again by Chris Freeman, the model is owned by South African Airways. This is one of the models that is taken around schools, capturing the young people's enthusiasm as part of the South African Airlines Vulindela program. With the view of the mountains from the airfield which hosts Oudtshoorn this year, it must be one of the best sights around. Certainly the enthusiasm of the modelers seen here today reflects the enjoyment that this super-scale event brings each year. On the east coast of South Africa is a surfers' paradise, and on this occasion was the venue for one of South African Airlines' Vulindela projects. Vulindela is an aviation awareness program that introduces children to aviation. This day is being run by Chris Freeman, who has helped to get this project off the ground. Children between the ages of 13 to 18 receive guidance from pilots, cabin crew and technicians on the careers that are available in the airline. Each child builds a model aircraft, which also introduces them into the world of modeling.
You wind it that way.
For most of these children, this will be the first time they will have seen what the inside of a plane looks like. And as you can see by their faces, they really enjoy it. Here, a senior pilot explains just what working for a major airline is like. I wonder how many potential pilots, cabin crew or technicians are among the children here today. We would like to dedicate this part of the video to the late Chris Sweetman. Chris founded the now annual show at Oudtshoorn, which gives pleasure to so many people who visit it. He will be sadly missed. If you're interested in gas turbine model jet engines, then you shouldn't miss Turbines 96. We've traveled to America, France, Holland and Germany to record the footage for this video, which includes the JPX T250 and also the T260, the Pegasus Mark III, the Turbo Min 75, the Schneider Sanchez, the Japanese J450, and the first look at the Thunder Tiger P15. We also interview Kurt Schreckling and Thomas Kamps about home-built engines. So to all you turbine lovers out there, you dare not miss Turbines 96.
Traplet Video Productions presents the 1996 Top Gun Invitational from the West Palm Beach Polo Club in Florida. Only the world's best scale modelers are invited to enter this event, so this video is packed full of superb aircraft flown by the very best. The Jet World Champion Garland Hamilton speaks about his new JPX T260 powered T-33. We follow all the action, packed into just under 60 minutes.